If the journey has taught us anything, it's that it doesn't matter where you start. What matters is how big you're willing to dream.
The river is wide when I'm full of doubt, when I'm wrapped with fear and looking for a bridge just to get me out of here. Been looking far and wide, better to look me up and down and decide.
From the very beginning, our core mission was to accelerate the adoption of electrification and really take the electric vehicle to the next level, and in doing, take the automobile to the next level. This idea of if we make this vehicle compelling enough and amazing enough, and we take away any obstacle in our consumer's mind of whether or not electric car is a good thing for them, that's the goal, that's the mission, is really to accelerate that adoption and make the best car in the world. When we were first thinking about the design of the car, I really wanted to create this vehicle that is effortlessly sleek, seamless, something that just flowed through the air without being overly aggressive. And through that vision, we came up with this idea of a jet, an aircraft. So early on, we started working towards this very clean design and really simplify the vehicle down to its very core essence. The car really has just one line that goes all the way around, and that became this key defining feature, and all the other details play off of that one line. At the front of the car, we have this incredible light blade, and that's really enabled by our micro lens array. That allows the lights to be very simple and very linear. So we start at that front line and we bring it all the way through the fender, right up the side of the car and around the rear of the car into the taillight signature. This is enabled by the fact that we have our shut lines around the side of the vehicle rather than down the back. That allows us to have a single piece taillight from one side to the other. In fact, this is the largest taillight ever, and that helps create this seamless aesthetic. To me, it's really important to be bold through simplicity. One of the advantages Lucid has is our drivetrain components are incredibly compact and very power dense. What that allows us to do is think completely different about the space of the vehicle. In our case, we push all those components down and away and give all that extra space to the passenger compartment, and creates a very unique paradigm where we're larger on the inside and more compact on the outside. We're really redefining what a luxury sedan can be. As a result, we've been able to create this incredible front trunk, or frunk, and we're proud to say it's the biggest frunk ever made. It's got a double-decker storage, a fold-away cargo cover, and it really becomes an additional bonus of our space concept. The trunk of the Lucid Air is really split into two levels. The upper level is for larger objects, as well as longer objects, for example, like a surfboard, where you can utilize the split seat and allow incredibly long cargo capacity for the rear. In addition to the upper storage, we also have this second tier of storage down below underneath the bifold cover. And if you combine those two together, plus the frunk, you end up with a cargo capacity that is much greater than a traditional sedan and is more in line with what you would get with an SUV or crossover. Once we established this incredible space concept, we knew we had to think differently about the passenger compartment, so we really divided it into two zones. The front of the vehicle is meant to be more sporty. Typically, we do that in darker colors. As you work your way to the back of the vehicle, this is meant to be a more relaxing environment, and so those areas are always done in lighter, brighter colors to create this duality between the front of the vehicle and the back of the vehicle. We're going to offer two versions for the rear seating. The first version that we launch with will be a bench seat. We're also going to offer an executive rear seat. This will recline 45 degrees and take full advantage of the Lucid Air's rear space. In addition to this lounge space, we have this incredible glass canopy. And this is this whole idea of letting light into the vehicle and create a very open and airy experience. With this overall minimalist simplicity of the interior, it was really important that every detail had this feeling of quality and craftsmanship and care. And that's all about how you apply the materials to particular surfaces. It's important that the metal look and feel like metal, and how it interacts with the wood feels quality, feels intrinsically valuable. And it's that combination that really gives you that feeling of high craftsmanship.
I've always been drawn to sort of the beauty of objects and what makes something remarkable, the quality of the build. It's not just the materials themselves, but really how they all come together. That's been a very important philosophy of how we work. What makes something good design is creating with passion, creating with care, the fit and finishes, and attention to details. We're literally measuring the pitch of the stitch, the weight of the thread, the suppleness of the leather, how deep is the logo debossed into the metal, how it feels to run your hand along the wood, that it actually feels like wood. We're always looking at those little minute details, things that people probably don't even really think about. When I first started at Lucid, we didn't really know who we were in a lot of ways, but we knew we were a California company. It became a very natural fit for us to think about doing interiors and themes that were in very specific locations within California at very specific times of the day, and how the light would look like at those locations. The lighting in California is like no other. We looked at the day as a 24-hour period, and we started out at the beginning of the day in Santa Monica. Mid-morning, it was Big Basin. At noontime, it was Santa Cruz. Sunset, it was Tahoe. And then near midnight, it was Mojave Desert. They all had very specific and really beautiful lighting conditions that lent themselves to us starting to talk about what would these color combinations be and how could we incorporate this idea. We decided to have our Dream Edition developed in the Santa Monica theme. It was really about imagining Santa Monica when the sun hasn't quite risen yet. It's very misty and foggy, and you're looking sort of this nebulous haze of grays and whites. We developed this beautiful graphite gray along with the ceramic white interior. We have silvered eucalyptus, which is an ode to driftwood. Santa Monica is the first part of the day. It's an awakening, a starting point, and that just lent itself to our first introduction. It was this perfect, natural connection.
Once we established this overall feeling of space in the interior, we put a big emphasis on the displays, and we knew it wasn't about having the most displays or the largest displays. It was about what's the optimal position and form factor for the driving experience. As a result, we came up with this 5K floating display that is completely curved, optimizing the view and touch for the driver, as well as the view out to the road. In addition, we have a large center console display that is optimally placed for both driver and passenger, and it retracts into the center console and exposes a large storage area up front. We also have an incredibly large center console. This has docking for inductive charging and phones, as well as 2 additional large storage compartments, which is very unique for a vehicle in this class. Even though there was a huge focus on our displays and the touch interface, we still wanted to find that balance of the analog tactile experience. So we put a lot of focus on the steering wheel and how the roller toggles feel in your hands, as well as the center console controls. All of this still celebrates that mechanical feeling and the physical touch of the vehicle. It's so important to balance the digital with the mechanical. When thinking about the Lucid in-car user experience, we realize that our customers are used to a very easy device interaction with the consumer products in their lives. And once they get in a modern vehicle, that experience was broken. At Lucid, we really wanted to try and close that gap. As a result, our focus was really on this idea of simplicity, ease of use, and intuitiveness, and really having an empathy for our customer that would ensure the time in the car was time well spent. To enhance this, we knew the user interface had to have a certain elegance about it. That meant a real focus on color, on tone, and layering to create a certain ambience inside the vehicle that even integrated into the ambient lighting, enhancing the overall beauty of Lucid Air. This environment is further enhanced by our immersive audio system, completely engineered and developed in-house, with 21 speakers around and above you and over 800 watts of power. Along with our partners, we're bringing a true spatial sound experience that isn't available in any other vehicle today. So the Lucid UX experience actually starts outside the car in our very unique Lucid app. This app will allow you to precondition the vehicle, set a navigation route, check your charge status, and even check upcoming charge locations. The app is tied to your Lucid ID, so as you approach the vehicle, it knows it's you, the lighting sequence is activated, the car unlocks, and the door handles present themselves. Once you get inside the vehicle, the car confirms that it's you through facial recognition. This activates all your presettings and then loads the trip you just planned.
Alexa, lock the front door.
The front door is locked.
You can use natural voice commands through Alexa to play music, set a stop on your navigation, or even check your calendar and appointments. One of our key features is something we call application flow. When you activate navigation, music, or phone, you get key information and functionality up above. When you swipe down, that opens the full application on the screen below. The center display is also where you activate climate control and HVAC features, as well as settings. We've enabled over-the-air updates, which allows it to stay cutting edge and refreshed over time. The digital customer journey is designed to be seamless, from web to retail to application to overall in-car experience. We want our customers to feel like we've anticipated their needs without needlessly complicating anything. It goes without saying, we're all really proud of the design and key features that we brought into the Lucid Air, but this has only been made possible by incredible engineering and true innovation with our in-house technologies.
Doing everything in-house is a belief-based philosophy, and to achieve that, you really need to attract the most brilliant engineers and designers in the world. So to enable the space concept to work, there's an old adage, if you want to break the rules, first you have to master them. So it required mastery of the 5 key elements of electric cars, electric powertrain, and we do all that in-house. So the battery, motor, transmission, power electronics or inverter, and software. It's this inflection point of hardware, software, art and science that really becomes fulfilled in our first product, the Lucid Air. To miniaturize, but to improve the efficiency at the same time. That is a really tough thing to pull off. You could do one or the other, but to combine the two, that's what I'm really proud of. So really, perhaps if we were to distill one key metric for the prowess of an EV company, surely it would be range. And I'm really delighted that Lucid Air has been independently validated as achieving over 500 miles, just an EPA estimate. But you know, there's something which is more underlying than range itself, and that is efficiency. Because really, anyone can go and stuff a huge battery in an electric car and get a huge range. That's dumb range. What we want to do is create smart range. And why I'm thrilled that we've got over 500 miles is because we've done it with a significantly smaller battery pack. We are over 15% more efficient than the nearest competitor. So Lucid Air is achieving over 4 miles per kilowatt hour, which is really unprecedented for a car of that level of luxury and interior size. Now, driving from here in the Bay Area down to Los Angeles and from New York to Washington, D.C. is a true reality. And I like to think of it as goodbye range anxiety and hello range confidence.